All right.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. Okay, thank you very much. I think we just have one, right? Can the interpreter hear me?
Yes, Your Honor, the interpreter can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Let me just get this person's name real quick. All right, this is the 11 a.m. initial appearance calendar for May 29th, 2025.
Muy bien, esta es la vista inicial a las 11 de la mañana, el día 29 de mayo 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of fingerprints and DNA samples made on the 2 a.m. calendar on the 1st of the month will also apply to these hearings.
Y las órdenes tomadas respecto a la toma de las huellas dactilares y muestras del ADN tomadas a las 2 de la mañana, el primero del mes, aplica a esta lista de causas.
All right, Mr. Dominguez Calderon, will you please come to the podium?
Señor Domínguez Calderón, pásale adelante aquí al atril.
Hello, sir. May I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Hola, señor. Dígame, por favor, sus nombres, apellidos y fecha de nacimiento.
Oscar Iván Domínguez Calderón. Mes 6, día 7 del 2005.
Oscar Iván Domínguez Calderón, 6/7/2005.
All right, thank you. You are back in court because the police have come and placed additional charges against you here at the jail facility.
Bueno, usted se encuentra aquí de nuevo en el tribunal porque a usted se le acusa de acusaciones nuevas en las instalaciones carcelarias.
These come from the Phoenix Police Department, and the alleged date of these offenses is August 31st of 2024.
Y esto es de la fecha del agosto 31 del 2024. Y esto es según, pardon the interpreter, Your Honor, repeat that statement for the interpreter.
These charges come from the Phoenix Police Department.
Estas acusaciones provienen del Departamento de Policía de Phoenix.
You are accused of discharging a firearm in the city limits and disorderly conduct with a weapon. Those are both Class 6 felonies.
Se le acusa, señor, a usted de disparar un arma de fuego dentro de los límites de la ciudad. Y también conducta desordenada con un arma de fuego. Ambos acusaciones son delitos de categoría 6.
Also criminal damage as a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Y también tiene una acusación de daños en propiedad ajena, una falta de categoría 1.
There is probable cause for all of those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you in this case. It should be the same person you have for your other case.
Y, señor, se ha determinado que hay motivo fundado por estas acusaciones y se le ha nombrado al mismo abogado que ya tenía en el otro caso anterior.
And your next court date for this case will be June 4th at 8:30 in the morning.
Y la próxima audiencia que tiene programada es a las 8:30 de la mañana, el 4 de junio.
And the preliminary hearing is scheduled for June 6th at 8:30 in the morning.
Y la audiencia preliminar es para el día 6 de junio, 8:30 de la mañana.
I've considered that you have already been ordered to post a considerable bail from the case this morning.
Y se ha determinado que del caso de la mañana ya se le ha fijado una fianza muy considerable.
And in this case, the court is going to require just a $5,000 secured appearance bond. That is in addition to the bond in the other case.
Y con esta causa se le fija una fianza de $5,000, señor. También en consideración de la otra causa, de la otra fianza que tiene.
You have other conditions you're ordered to comply with, which include not going to the scene of these crimes, no contact with any alleged victims or witnesses at this location.
Y también las condiciones de libertad son de que se le prohíbe regresar al lugar del supuesto delito, no contacto con las víctimas o testigos.
You may not possess any weapons, any alcohol, nor any drugs without a valid prescription.
Y también se le prohíbe poseer armas de fuego o también tener bebidas alcohólicas o drogas sin receta válida.
Everything is on your paperwork. If you blue step to your left, the officer will give you a copy. Thank you.
Todo esto estará en el papeleo que va a recibir, señor. Aquí la gente podrá entregar una copia del mismo. Gracias.
All right. If the interpreter could make a call for us, I think that's our only person.
Yes, Your Honor. ¿Alguien más ocupará interpretación? ¿Alguien aquí no habla inglés? Levante la mano o diga su nombre.
Okay. All right. I don't see any hands. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor. Likewise.
All right, Mr. Stewart, Dante Stewart, if you please come all the way to the podium, you'll be first. And then Johnny Olivares, will you go to the chair there? You're going to be after Mr. Stewart. I need Dante Stewart to the podium, please. And then Mr. Olivares, if you'll go to the chair, you'll be next. I don't know where Olivares is, officer. He's dressed out. He's in orange. I don't see him moving. And probably the county attorney will want to be heard, so we'll need a second DO. Let me know if you need time to get somebody else in here, because I could call the case in a second. All right, Mr. Stewart, let's have your full name and date of birth, please.
Dante Stewart, 12/13/99.
Sorry, not for this guy, officer, for the next guy. I was just trying to say, there's Olivares. He's sitting down. He's the one where I think she's going to want to appear. Okay, so Mr. Stewart, you're here on two things. One's a new arrest and one is a warrant. In the new case, number 28 on the calendar, you got booked in for possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. In this case, it's going to be the same person you have for your pending case, which is number 27 on the calendar. You've been charged with those same two offenses, narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. And in this case, this older case, there was a warrant issued for you after you failed to appear at a status conference on February 26th. So you will have the same lawyer for both cases. You have the same next court date for both cases. It's a status conference this coming Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. In the new case only, you still need a preliminary hearing, and that's going to be Friday, June 6th at 8:30 in the morning. Now, in the new case only, you also need a bail hearing. The reason you're getting a bail hearing is because by law, I must hold you without bond today in the new case because you come in with probable cause for a new felony while you have any pending felony case. So that means, it triggers a law that says you have to be held for a bail hearing. We're scheduling that bail hearing for you June 5th at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's 1 week from today. You may or may not get bail in this case on June 5th, but I cannot give you bail today. I have to hold you for the bail hearing. That's the new case. In the older case, I am going to set bail in the amount of $500 secured with conditions. Just know that you shouldn't bother trying to post that bail if you're still being held without bail in the new case. You need to know the outcome of your bail hearing. But you'll be back in court for both cases on Wednesday, same lawyer, same time. Everything's on your paperwork if you step to your left. All right, thank you. All right, so now Mr. Olivares, and after that will be Adrian Henry, please. Okay, all right, officer, so this is the one she wants to appear on, thank you. All right, Mr. Olivares, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Johnny Robert Olivares, Sr.
Which date of birth, sir?
10/14/1982.
Okay, thanks, and the appearance of the state. Thank you, Honor Brooke Gahn on behalf of the state. All right, thank you. Mr. Olivares, you are here on three things. One is a new arrest, and two are probation holds. In The new case, you have been arrested for second-degree murder, a Class 1 felony, and possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. Based on what the police have presented, there is probable cause for both of those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. I'm also appointing a lawyer in both of your probation cases because there were already warrants out for you in those cases. You are on intensive probation for 2 felonies. On May 23rd of this year, there were new petitions to revoke filed in both of those cases, alleging, that you violated terms 3, 5, and 15 of your intensive probation. You'll get copies of those petitions from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you, as I said, in both of those cases. You have upcoming court dates for all of these cases, and it looks like in the new case, your status conference will be this Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30, same court. That address will be on your paperwork. In between those, on June 5th, which is 1 week from today, 8:30 in the morning, you'll have a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing in both of your probation cases. All right, before the court sets conditions of bail or release, what does the state want to recommend?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's asking for a $750,000 cash-only bond. Our understanding is that Mr. Olivares has approximately 10 felony convictions. As the court has already referenced, he is on probation for 2 drug cases, and he's in revocation proceedings with those already. He allegedly shot the victim 6 times, with the latter shots being while the victim was on the ground, and he stood over the victim. There is a strong weight of the evidence. The homicide was captured on video, and witnesses have identified Mr. Olivares. The state believes that he is a significant danger to the community, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Olivares, I've considered what's been alleged against you, the state's recommendation, your criminal history, your performance on probation, and your status of being on probation. And so in the new case, the court has considered that there does appear to be, if the state has the evidence they say they have, a very strong weight of evidence against you, which increases both the implication that you are a danger to the community or to witnesses in this case, and the risk that you will flee to avoid a possible conviction.
I will flee.
Also, I'm not done, Mr. Olivares. Also, the fact that you were on felony probation at the time is a potentially aggravating circumstance. There may or may not be premeditation evidence. They have not alleged that against you right now. The police are accusing you of second-degree murder. If there were premeditation evidence, and I recognize that I'm speculating, but I'm not unaware of the idea that it could be a death-eligible case if they did have evidence of premeditation, that these factor into the idea that a person with this many felony convictions who absconded is accused, I should say. You are accused in your probation case of absconding almost instantly after you were reinstated 2 or 3 weeks ago to intensive probation, not even your first grant of intensive probation. And then the police allege that they have you on video committing a murder. The court finds that it's,
one more chance.
All of those strongly indicate that a truly significant bail is required. And I believe what the state has recommended is not unreasonable. I also believe that in light of other cases, placing it on a continuum of what the court sets in similarly situated cases, that an appropriate bail in your case is $1 million cash only. And I will impose electronic monitoring in this case because the court is concerned about the potential for witness intimidation against at least one of the witnesses. And the court is concerned about that if you are out of custody. And so I'm going to order house arrest because what they allege is an extremely strong weight of evidence. And so the court is very concerned about the potential risk to the community and the potential for flight. Just 1 second, sir. You may not have any contact with any of the witnesses in the case, no contact with the alleged victim's next of kin. I do need to, somehow I missed putting that in here. I normally do. I have to type it in by hand. And I do want to order whether you are in or out of custody. I need to type this. I'm not inviting you to speak. People like to fill silences. I'm typing right now. I'm not done talking. I'll give you a chance to talk after I give you a warning, okay? So I've written, whether you're in or out of custody, you may have no direct or indirect contact, and that means social media or third parties, with the deceased alleged victim's next of kin, nor their family members or their property. In each of your 2 probation cases, the court finds that you will, in all reasonable probability, be revoked to prison in both of those cases. And when that is the case, Rule 7.2 permits the court, and this court does find that it is not appropriate to grant you bail in either of your probation cases. So you are ordered held without bail at all in your probation cases. Now, if you want to address the court, I would encourage you to confine your statements to your recommendations for what the court should or should not do as far as release conditions, because you retain the right to remain silent, you retain the right to the assistance of a lawyer. I did just appoint a lawyer for you in all of these cases, and your lawyer can tell your side of the story without it being used against you. But what you might say here today is being audio and video recorded, and it could be entered against you at any later hearing, including potentially your trial on extremely serious charges. So do you understand the warning I just gave you about what could happen if you choose to talk about what you've been accused of? Do you understand that warning?
Thanks for your warning, Judge.
Okay, do you understand it, though?
I understand it. I understand.
Okay, all right. What did you want to tell me?
I don't see how I can't speak about it if the state was able to speak about it.
Oh, you can't. No, Mr. Alvarez, let me make clear. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm just cautioning you that if you choose to talk about what you've been accused of, it could be used against you to help convict you at trial. That's the warning I gave you. That's why I would encourage you not to talk about the facts. I know that can be hard to do.
I'm not going to talk about the facts.
But if you're trying to get a better release order by saying things that could be used to put you in prison for decades, most people would say you're better off waiting and letting your lawyer make those arguments.
Thank you.
But if you want to do it, I am not telling you may not address the court. You may. I just wanted to give you a warning to help protect your rights.
I'm just asking if I could please exercise the right of being released on my own recognizances after 3 months, maybe because I do have a deferred sentence for 3 months for my probation violations. That's what I'm speaking on, is if I can just do my 3 months and then have all this suspended or deferred or something like that. Maybe I can do those 3 months, get out, show you guys that, you know, I could still be out there free and go to trial to defend myself and the alleged serious charges that I do have.
All right. Well, the court has considered that, sir, and I don't find that changes the court's reasoning for the decision today. You can speak to your lawyer about asserting that, perhaps, to the trial court.
I just thought I'd ask.
All right. Everything's going to be on your paperwork. If you please step to your left, I do need to reprinted that. Okay. So, officer, we just needed to reprint the one about no contact with the next of kin. All right. And counsel, did you want to be excused?
Yes, please.
Okay. Just give us a second, sir. If you stay right there, I'm going to have her go out the door before you come in. Yeah. I'm talking about Mr. Henry. Okay. All right, Mr. Henry, if you come to the podium, please. And then Eric Jaime, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Adrian Henry, 11807.
All right, thank you. You are here on a grand jury warrant. You were indicted by a grand jury on 2 counts of armed robbery as Class 2 felonies, 2 counts of aggravated robbery as Class 3 felonies, 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. Those are Class 3 felonies. 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. That's a Class 4 felony. The alleged offense date for all of these is December 21st of 2024. This comes out of the, let me see if I can pull that up. Glendale Police Department. But you'll get a copy of the charges and police reports from your lawyer. I'm appointing a lawyer for you. You're going to end up with the same lawyer in this case that you have for your other 2 open cases. Your next court date for this new case is going to be an arraignment hearing June 5th, which is 1 week from today at 8:30 in the morning. And I'm affirming the bond set out of grand jury, but I'm doing it as secured. It is $75,000 secured. I've noted you have substantial bonds in the other cases that you have been unable to post. So I believe that considering all of the factors involved in setting a cash bail, that I don't have a basis to just rubber stamp the cash request from the prosecutor. I recognize the grand jury judge had more information than I do, but on these facts, with the totality of bail that you're facing in other cases, this court believes that a secured bail is appropriate. It is $75,000. You do have written conditions that include no going to the scenes of the crimes, no contact with the alleged victims. Okay, did you have a question?
What are the facts of the case? And
I don't know, so they were presented to a grand jury. A grand jury met, they heard evidence, and they made a formal probable cause finding charging you with these crimes. And those proceedings won't be unsealed. Well, they're not unsealed today. They get unsealed between now and your arraignment. So, in fact, grand jury proceedings are secret. I don't know what they are. What I have is a warrant. And so between now and your next court date, it comes unsealed. You get a copy of the indictment. Your lawyer is going to get police reports. You go over all of that with your lawyer.
So when can I challenge the indictment?
Oh, your lawyer will help you do that. Yeah, you're going to go get arraigned, and then things that you may want to file and challenge, et cetera, all that's going to start after you get arraigned.
And what you're telling me is you're adding another $75,000 bond on top of $155,000 bond?
That is exactly what I'm telling you. You have correctly understood my order. All right, go ahead and take your paperwork, sir. You'll be all done for today. Thank you. Mr. Jaime? And then Kaylin Canfield, we go to the chair. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Yes, ma'am. Eric, E-R-I-K, Jaime, J-A-I-M-E.
What's your date of birth, sir?
3280.
All right, thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for one allegation of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. It's a Class 3 felony. Disorderly conduct with a weapon, a Class 6 felony. Possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. Disorderly conduct with a weapon, a Class 6 felony. Carrying a weapon during the commission of any felony crime, that is a Class 6 felony. Theft by possession of a stolen weapon. Oh, no, I'm sorry, they misbooked this one. They did theft by misrepresentation. I think they intended to book you for theft by possession of a stolen weapon. So for purposes of this hearing, I did not find probable cause on the theft by misrepresentation allegation. It doesn't mean that's dismissed. It's alleged as a Class 3 felony, but they did not provide enough information to support that. Also, drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. So I did find probable cause for everything I just listed except that theft charge. There was also a possession of a prohibited weapon allegation that I did not see. They talked about any allegation that it was a prohibited type of weapon, so I'm not finding probable cause on that for purposes of this hearing only at all. It could be that they have some proof, they have some evidence, but they didn't provide it to me. So it doesn't mean it's dismissed. It just means I'm not setting release conditions on that basis. You can talk to your lawyer more about how that works. So I found probable cause for everything but the theft and the possession of a prohibited weapon. So talk to your lawyer about how that works. Those allegations are not dismissed. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is this Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing will be Friday, June 6th at 8:30 in the same court. Bond is set in your case at $25,000. It is secured. If you post it, you will be on an ankle monitor under the supervision of pretrial services. You may not go to the scene of the alleged crimes. You may not have any contact with the alleged victim or any witness. If you need to do a civil standby with law enforcement to collect belongings from the storage facility, you can go with a law enforcement officer at one time to collect belongings, but you cannot otherwise go to that storage facility. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Everything is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, he's going to give you a copy. Thank you.
The lady from pretrial asked me to tell you that because we've 20 years plus, that to go back to the storage to get my personal belongings for work, as far as like tools and stuff like that, because I have my own business and we have our personal belongings.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
No, she just asked me, she told me to tell you if that was okay to go back to...
Right, that's the civil standby. You may not go on your own. You must bring an officer with you. You call the non-emergency number, tell them you need a civil standby. They send a cop to go with you. Get real prepared, like have a big trailer or something, so that you can get it all in one go, and be super nice to the police. From what I've heard, the nicer you are, the longer they will wait for you to do things, but that's up to them. So I would say, be nice, because they can tell you you're done after 10 minutes if you're not nice.
Right.
So everything's on your paperwork. Just do that through the non-emergency number, and they know what it is. They'll want to see your paperwork, which is why I did put it on your paperwork.
Okay.
Don't lose that. They won't do it unless they see your paperwork.
Okay.
All right. If you step to your left, you get a copy of it. Mr. Canfield, and then John Vega, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir, can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Full name is Kaelan Canfield. Date of birth is 7/30/1962.
All right, thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for aggravated assault by the impeding of breathing or strangulation in a domestic relationship. That is a Class 4 felony. Also, surreptitious photography as a Class 4 felony. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference, June 4th, which is this Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30 in the same court. The address is on your paperwork. Bond is set in your case at $25,000. It is secured. If you post it, you will be on an electronic ankle monitor. You will alcohol test for the court to prove that you are not drinking. You may have absolutely no contact with the alleged victim, whether you are in or out of custody. You may not respond to any contact from her. You may not live where she lives. You can do a civil standby to collect belongings from that location, but you can't go back there while the case is pending. No weapons, no drugs on a valid prescription. Obey any order of protection that is served on you. If you'll step to your left, he's going to give you that paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Vega? And then David Flores, we go to the chair.
I move 11 and 12 Moreno in Long Beach, the House Call.
Okay, thank you. Hello, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
John Manuel Vega, November 11, 1985.
All right, thank you. Mr. Vega, you are here on a new case. You were arrested for 2 allegations of aggravated assault. Those are Class 3 felonies. There is probable cause for them, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you in this case. Your next court date is going to be a status conference, June 4th, which is Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning in the Downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30 in the same court. And your bond is $10,000. It is secured. If you post it, you must comply with all of your conditions. You may not go to the scene of the alleged crimes, absolutely no contact with the alleged victims, no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no alcohol. If you step to your left, you get a copy of your paper.
I was allegedly, that's what he said, and then all my weapons are under my name and everything.
Okay, you can't have possession of them. You need to immediately get them into someone else's possession where you do not live.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by no weapons. So if they're just sitting in your house but they're not in your pocket, you are still possessing them because you are exercising control over them. I don't mean don't hold it in your hand. I mean do not exercise control over any weapons. Get them into someone else's possession where you do not live. You can and will be arrested for violating that provision.
Okay.
All right, if you step to your
left.
left.
Am I being held?
You have to post a bond.
I have to post a bond?
Correct. If you do not post it, you stay in custody. The bond is $10,000. It is secured. That means you can use the services of a bail bondsman if you want. You can call them from back in the tank. But you don't physically get out of the jail unless you post the bond. You are released in this case, but one of your conditions is to post bond first. So if you step to your left, you get a copy of your paperwork. Mr. Flores? And then Tanisha Pennington, will you go to the chair? Where's Mr. Flores? He's got like a dark blue shirt on. He's probably about 65. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
David Galaviz Flores, August 9th, 1959.
Okay, thank you. You're here on a new case. You got arrested for aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony, first-degree criminal trespass, a Class 6 felony, 3 allegations of threatening and intimidating, 3 allegations of disorderly conduct. All of those are Class 1 misdemeanors. There is probable cause for all of those crimes, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference, June 4th, which is Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning in the Downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30 in the same court. Bond is set in your case at $10,000. It is secured. If you post it, you must comply with your release conditions. You may not go to the scene of the alleged crime. Absolutely no contact with any of those alleged victims or witnesses. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Everything you need to know is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, he has your copy. Thank you. Ms. Pennington. And then Alexandra Sarsosa, will you please go to the chair? Hello, ma'am, can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Tanisha Pennington. My date of birth is August 26, 1981.
All right, thank you. You were arrested on one allegation of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. It is a Class 3 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30 in the same court. Bond is set in your case at $10,000. It is secured. If you post it, you must comply with all of your written conditions. You may not go to the scene of the alleged crime, absolutely no contact with the alleged victim nor any of the witnesses. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, no driving without a valid driver's license. Everything you need to know is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, you get a copy of that.
Can I please
What's your
say
question?
something? Your Honor, I did not touch that kid with nothing. It's on video. I didn't.
Right, they allege that you hit him with rocks, that you were not able to physically hit him with a golf club. I'm aware of that.
He hit me in my face.
Okay,
And I was
the
just
police
trying
reported
to-
that, and the police report they have many witnesses to the assault with the golf club. I don't know.
But I never touched him. I only had the golf
Right,
club
you don't
before.
actually have to, ma'am. Talk to your lawyer about the legal elements of aggravated assault. It is not required that you make contact with the golf club. So talk to your lawyer about that, about the legal elements of that crime.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
So I'm staying in jail?
Unless you post a bond, that's correct. You stay in jail at least until your next court date.
And when's my next court date?
Wednesday, June 4th, 6 days from now. He's got your paperwork for you. Mrs. Sarsosa, and then Juan Olguin Flores, we go to the chair. I need Alexandra Sarsosa. She could be a house call. She's dressed out, officer? Okay. Or, if, all right, because okay. Okay. Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Alexandra Sierra Sardosa,
What's your date of birth, ma'am?
April 24, 1992.
Thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for criminal trespass in the first degree. That's a Class 6 felony. Also, assault as a Class 1 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for both of those things, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference, June 4th, which is this Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing, June 6th at 8:30 in the same court. That address will be on your paperwork. Bond is set in your case at $2,500. It is secured. If you post it, comply with all of your written conditions. Do not go to the scene of the alleged crimes. Absolutely no contact with the alleged victims. No weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no alcohol. Everything's on your paperwork. Good
So
luck.
I can't get out unless I pay a bond for 20.
That is correct.
So, but can I get out after Wednesday?
Theoretically, but you have the bond until another court orders differently. So it depends on whether another court orders differently. All right, thank you. Mr. Olguin Flores? And then James Moody, will you go to the chair, please? Hello, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Juan Olguin Flores, 6995.
I'm sorry, I could not understand.
Juan Olguin Flores, 6995.
Okay, thanks. You're here on 4 probation warrants. You're on probation in 4 different cases. There were petitions to revoke your probation filed in all 4 cases on May 9th. They allege that you violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 7. You're going to have the same next court date in all 4 of your cases. It is 1 week from today, June 5th at 8:30 in the morning. It's a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing in the downtown Superior Court. And if I didn't say it already, I am appointing a lawyer for you in probation court. All right, in number 19 on the calendar, that's the burglary case. As I recall, your bond is $1,000 secured. In number 18 on the calendar, which is the drug sales, your bond is $750 secured. In the other 2 cases, it is $500 secured per case. So I believe that is $2,750 total, but you'll have to add that up for yourself. If you do bond out, comply with all of your written conditions and call your PO within 72 hours. You step to your left, he's going to give you a copy of that paperwork. Ms. Moody, and then Braden Twitchell, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
James Henry Moody II. Date of birth is 2023,
86.
October 23?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. You're here on a new case and 2 probation holds. In the new case, you were arrested for possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you in this case and in both of your probation cases, because the probation department is going to be filing petitions to revoke your probation in both cases based on this new arrest. So you will have a lawyer, and you're going to go first to a status conference in the new case this Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning, and your preliminary hearing in that new case only will be Friday, June 6th at 8:30. In the probation cases, you're going to go in between on Thursday, June 5th at 8:30 in the morning for a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. In each of your 2 probation cases, your bond is $500 secured. In the new case, based on your risk assessment score, I'm just setting what's called a placeholder bond. It's $50 secured to make you eligible for credit for time in custody. So that is $1,050 total for the 3 cases, plus release conditions. If you do bond out, be sure to follow those. Call your PO within 72 hours. If you step to your left, he's going to give you your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Twitchell? I need Mr. Braden Twitchell. And then Cedric Law after Mr. Twitchell, or I'll take either one. Twitchell or Law, just whoever's ready. Right here, sir. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Braden Twitchell, 10/19/2000.
All right, thanks. You're here on a warrant for failing to appear at a status conference in a case in which you've been charged with dangerous drug possession, Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. This warrant was issued May 14th of this year. You already have a lawyer in this case. Your next court date? Thank you. And it was a status conference. It's this Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning. Preliminary hearing, June 6th at 8:30. And I'm affirming the bond in your case. It is $500 secured with written release conditions. If you post it, comply with all of those. If you step to your left, he's going to give you a copy of that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, Mr. Law?
Yes.
After that will be Tracy Abilio, please. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Cedric Law, 8/14/84.
8/14 of 84?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. You are here on a new case and a probation warrant. In your new case, you were arrested for possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony, and criminal trespass as a Class 3 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date in this new case will be a status conference this Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing Friday, June 6th at 8:30 in the morning. And you are also on felony probation. There was a warrant out for your arrest after a petition to revoke your probation was filed about a week ago, May 22nd. The petition alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get a copy of that from your lawyer, and I'm appointing a lawyer for you in this case. Also, your court date is in between the other 2. It is June 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court. Your bond in the probation case is $500 secured. In the new case, based on your risk assessment score, it's just a $50 placeholder bond. It's $550 total plus conditions. Now, what did you want to say?
With the probation, I didn't know how to contact them. I have dementia. I lost the paperwork, so I was trying to figure out how to contact the probation officers.
All right. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. There's notes in here indicating, that essentially they had an invalid residence for you. They had absolutely no way to find you. So you'll have to take up with your lawyer and with the probation court whether that's a valid excuse or whether you were given the tools to comply. I don't know. That you're being accused of violating probation, I don't actually decide that you did it, just that you're being accused of it. So your lawyer will help you, present your case in probation court. But right now, the court believes that as the probation judge noted when he gave you a bond, that we need some security that we're going to see you again. So your total bond for the 2 cases is $550. If you don't post it, you'll be back in court in 6 days. If you do post it, do not lose this paperwork that we're going to give you, because that will tell you where to go next week. Okay? All right, good luck, sir. If you step to your left, you get your paperwork. Ms. Abilio? And then Lance Nogales, we go to the chair. Where is Ms. Abilio? Officer, she's about 45 got kind of long brown hair, blue T-shirt. Tracy? Okay. Man, wake up. There she is. And after that will be Mr. Nogales, Lance Nogales. He's got a white T-shirt on, and he's kind of bald. Officer, Lance is about, I think he looks older than he is. Probably about 40, 43. Hi, ma'am, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Tracy Abilio, 0701-1978.
All right, thanks. You're here on a warrant. In a pending case, you've been charged with dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. There's a status conference on May 12th of this year. You weren't there, and a warrant was issued for your arrest. You have already had a lawyer appointed. You're going to have a new status conference date of this Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. That address will be on your paperwork. I'm affirming the bond set in your case. It is $500 secured plus written conditions. If you post it, comply with those and don't miss your court dates. If you step to your left, he's going to give you a copy of that. Thank you. All right, Mr. Nogales, and then Marquise Johnson, will you please go to the chair? Or Marquis Johnson, we go to the chair. Right here, sir. Mr. Nogales. All right, everybody's asleep now. He's kind of a younger guy, officer, black T-shirt, short dreads. Marquise Johnson. Hi, sir, can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Lance Rodney Nogales, 41282.
Thank you. You're here on a warrant for failing to appear in a case in which you've been charged with possessing dangerous and narcotic drugs. Those are Class 4 felonies, also drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't find probable cause. This is a warrant. This issued out of a status conference after you failed to appear on May 15th. So you already have a lawyer. Pardon me. Your status conference is going to be rescheduled for this Wednesday, June 4th at 8:30 in the morning. And your preliminary hearing will be June 6th at 8:30. I'm affirming the bond set by the judge who issued the warrant. It's $500 secured with written conditions. If you post it, comply with all of those. Do not miss your court dates. You step to your left, the officer has your paperwork for you. All right, Mr. Johnson, do we find him? Mr. Johnson, after that, I need Francisco Vizcarra to please go to the chair. Right here, sir. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Marquis Johnson, who was it?
I'm sorry, can you do your date of birth again, please? That was
Marquis Johnson, 120298.
All right, thank you. You're on a probation warrant. You're on probation for a Class 6 felony. There was a petition to revoke your probation filed on April 25th. It alleges that you violated terms 3 and 5. You'll get a copy of it from your lawyer. I'm appointing a lawyer for you in probation court. Your court date there is 1 week from today, which is June 5th at 8:30 in the morning. You have a $250 secured appearance bond and written release conditions. Step to your left, I'll hand you your paperwork. Mr. Vizcarra? And then Andre Jordan, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir, can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Francisco Javier Vizcarra, 83087.
Thank you. You're here on a warrant from the Kyrene Justice Court where you've been charged with domestic violence assault. It is a Class 1 misdemeanor. This is a failure to appear warrant. It issued August 22nd of 2024. Your arraignment hearing in the Kyrene Justice Court will be this Tuesday, June 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. The address is on your paperwork. I am affirming their bond. It is $200 secured with written conditions. Those include no victim contact, no going to the scene of the alleged crime, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. A banning order of protection has been served on you. If you step to your left, the officer is going to give you that paperwork. Mr. Jordan, and then Katrina Harvey, will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Good afternoon. Andre Vincent Jordan, 81375.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Jordan, you're in court because a warrant hit the sheriff's system. It's a littering ticket, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor out of the University of Lakes Justice Court, and it looks like this issued, I believe you were in custody. Their writing's very scribbly, but I think it was May 23rd of 2025. And as best I can tell, you're going to be stuck in custody for a bit, or I don't think you've just been released. I think you still have a bond you're unable to pay in at least one other case. Is that right? It just tells me what I need to do. Okay. Because this is, obviously you were in custody, and so I would normally release you in this case, but that's just going to cause you to catch another warrant. So I'm going to give you, we call it a placeholder bond. It's $50 secured. Don't post it. The whole purpose of it is so they will take you to court on Tuesday. So it's the University of Lakes Justice Court, which is actually video court from this jail. It'll be this Tuesday, June 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. And you can talk to the justice of the peace then about when you think you might get out, what you want to do in this littering case. But I normally would have released you, but I won't be doing you any favors if you're stuck in jail. This is just going to happen again. All right. Everything's in your paperwork. If you step through that, they'll give you a copy. Thank you. Ms. Harvey? And then Baltazar Gonzalez, will you go to the chair? I need Katrina Harvey, please.
Yeah.
Hi, ma'am. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
I'm Katrina Harvey, 10/15/89.
Thank you. Here on a new case, you got arrested for criminal damage as a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your status conference in this case is going to be June 12th at 8:30 in the morning. That's 2 weeks from now. Preliminary hearing June 16th at 8:30. Same court. The address is on your paperwork. And I'm prepared to release you on an ankle monitor without the requirement of a bond. The purpose of the ankle monitor is to ensure that you are not going near the alleged victim or her residence, and you are not living where she lives. You can do a civil standby if you do live there. You can collect some belongings as long as you bring an officer with you. But you cannot have any contact with the alleged victim, who, as I recall, is, I think, your sister-in-law. And so no contact with her. You can't respond to contact from her. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. So, do you understand my order?
Yes, I do.
Will you comply?
Yes, I do.
All right, then I'm releasing you on the ankle monitor. If you violate that restriction zone, we get an alert. We will issue a warrant for you within hours.
Okay, so with the ankle monitor, how long do I have to, do I get at the time of the release, or do I have to go down to the probation officer right downtown and get it?
They're going to hook it up in this building.
Okay.
You have to have it before you get released. So that can slow down your release, but I do think, knock on wood, you'll be out by the end of the day. Then if you need to do a civil standby, I can't remember if they allege whether you live at this residence. Do you live at Fulton Street?
I don't live there.
Okay.
I
then you don't have any reason to go there. So
yeah, to get my belongings, to get my clothes, yeah.
Then you can do a civil standby. So as long as you understand, I'm not authorizing you to go there on your own. I'm authorizing you to go there one time when you bring a cop with you. You set that up by calling the non-emergency number for Phoenix PD. You say, I need a civil standby, please. They'll take your info. They'll want to see my order. They won't do it unless they can see my order that gives you permission. The cop will go with you and keep the peace while you collect your stuff and go.
I can't do like a citizen standby, like just a regular person,
no.
like a good person, like my aunt, my uncle, my brother, my cousin, like a good friend.
No, I'm sorry, like ma'am, no, it doesn't matter how many relatives you list. On these facts, I'm barely willing to release you. I don't want you playing around with release conditions. I want you absolutely not having contact with that alleged victim, not going to that residence unless a Phoenix cop is standing next to you. If you can't do it, you're going to get arrested and you're going to wind up right back here with a bond because you will have proved that you won't follow release conditions. If you understand them, they may be annoying, they may be inconvenient. As long as you comply, everything's fine. And the better you comply, the sooner your lawyer can persuade a judge to take the ankle monitor off you. People are always like, how long do I have to wear that? The answer is until a court orders it taken off. But if you're doing badly at it, you're unlikely to get the order to have it taken off. If you do really well, your lawyer can argue, look, it's not even necessary or wasting money and effort.
Okay, that's fine.
So I always encourage people, be as compliant as you can because it gives your lawyer a great argument that it's not necessary.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck, man. Mr. Gonzalez, Baltazar Gonzalez?
What are you doing?
Yeah, she'll hand it to you, don't worry. And then Javier Acosta, will you go to the chair? Hi, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth?
Baltasar Jesus Gonzalez, May 28, 1986.
All right, thanks. You're here on an arrest warrant for an older case. Charges have now been filed against you, charging you with narcotic drug possession, Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia possession, Class 6 felony. These date from July 22nd of 2024. These come out of the Gilbert Police Department. You will get a copy of the charges and police reports from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is going to be in 2 weeks. It's June 12th at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing June 16th. And you have not missed any court dates in this case. There was an attempt made to mail you a summons, but we didn't have a working address, which we do not hold against you. So, unfortunately, it did turn into a warrant, but we don't hold that against you. It doesn't count as a missed court date. So, I'm going to release you to pretrial services. You just need to check in with them. We're going to give you an envelope. You just have to call in when and how they tell you. So after you get out, follow those instructions. show up at court. Can you do that? All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, then you're released. Good luck.
You have a good day.
Mr. Acosta? All right, I need Javier Acosta and then Jesus Vasquez. Did he make it here? I think Vasquez was being brought from 4th Ave. Okay. All right, then those two Vasquez next. Mr. Acosta, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Javier Acosta, 11/8/61.
Okay, thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for criminal trespassing, a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is going to be a status conference on June 12th, which is in 2 weeks, with a preliminary hearing June 16th at 8:30. And I'm planning to release you on your own recognizance. I know you have some priors, but I also know that this is the burnt down house. So I'm not very worried about you. I mostly want you to know that if you don't come to court, you're going to get a bond. It just occurred to me, you may need to do a civil standby. Do you think you may have belongings at this location that you want to go get?
I do, but I have to go through, I guess his brother, or, yeah, I'll do what you say.
So,
yeah.
I can give you a civil standby, which means that you can go. If you have somebody you can send, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
But you can't go unless you bring a cop with you. So let me give you a civil standby on here, so we've got to reprint. Because the cops will want to see it before they'll do it.
Yes, Your Honor. I was at the wrong place at the wrong time, Your Honor.
And it's not one where it being an abandoned, burned down house.
No,
I'm not real concerned about the allegation against you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want you to understand you've got to come to court. You do have priors. This could still go badly for you,
yes,
but I'm not worried about you being in the community while it happens. So,
thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. Yeah, don't go back there without a cop with you, because you'd be committing the same crime
Yes,
again, and you could end up held no bond.
Okay.
Even though it's an abandoned house.
Yes,
All right, we're going to get you your paperwork once it's reprinted. So if you go wait over there, we'll have you have a seat.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, sir. Mr. Vasquez? All right, hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth?
Jesus Vasquez, 3/14/81.
Okay, thanks. You're on a new case. The police came and added a charge against you. It is shoplifting as a Class 4 felony, and there is probable cause for it. This is alleged to have happened on May 27th, which is 2 days ago, at a ranch market on Central Avenue. So, I did find probable cause. I am appointing a lawyer for you. You'll get police reports and things through your lawyer. Well, I was planning to release you to pretrial services with the next court date, but that may not do you any favors. Why are you in custody? Are you getting released on something else, or are you stuck in on a bond or a probation case? How come you're in jail right now? Not because of me, but like my case. I'm saying, why were you already in jail? You don't know?
No, I don't.
All right, is he a city booking? Are you able to tell, officer?
He was arrested by Phoenix.
Okay. Did you see a Phoenix judge earlier, sir?
Yes.
Okay, did they release you? Do you know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Probably not if you went to 4th Ave. That's what I'm trying to figure out is do you have a bond? Are you going to be able to post it? Because I'm willing to release you. I just don't want to, I'll do something slightly different if you're stuck in jail on something else. Yeah, were you being housed over there? You went over there to get housed, right?
I think so.
It's got to be the Phoenix case, because your last felony booking I show was 2017, and you got discharged from probation. So I don't think you're here on a felony. I'm just trying to figure out what's least likely to result in you catching a warrant when you're actually sitting in jail. Because if I release you, but then you're sitting in jail on a Phoenix case, you're going to pick up a warrant, they'll wake you up at 3 in the morning and bring you over here to see a judge on your warrant. Okay, thanks. I think you probably, I just want to try to figure out like when your next court date is for them. June 5th. Thank you. So my staff was able to find it. So it looks like your city court date is June 5th. Can you see his bond?
One is $861 and the other is $50.
The other one is how much?
$50.
50. Okay, so your bond for Phoenix is right around $900. Do you think you're going to be able to post it?
No.
Okay. Then I'm going to do what we call it a placeholder bond. It's $50. Don't post it. It's because I can get my court date in front of theirs. So you'll go to the court date for this case the day before your Phoenix case. That's going to be the 4th of June. And then on the 5th of June, you're going to go to Phoenix. And I'm going to put placeholder bond in custody on Phoenix. Court, oops. Cases. 6525 jail record. Okay. Okay. All right. So it's $50 secured, and then if you were to post it, you go to pretrial services. Actually, look here. I'm going to do $5 secured because if Phoenix lets you out in a week, then you only have to post $5 to get out in this case. But that lets me give you an earlier court date. And then you would go to pretrial services if and when Phoenix lets you out, and you put up $5. Everything is on your paperwork, but you'll go to court for the felonies on the 4th, which is Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. You'll go to Phoenix on the 5th, which is 1 week from today. It's Thursday. So both court dates are next week. You look confused, but everything is on your paperwork. We're going to give you a copy. Just take that with you. Don't lose it. It looks like you probably lost Phoenix's paperwork, which is why you don't know what's happening. But keep this paperwork. It'll tell you what's happening in this felony case. All right. If you go ahead and step to your left, we're going to get you that new paperwork. Thank you. And Mr. Herring? Where's Dustin Herring, please? He's got a dark red T-shirt on. He's about 45, beard, whitish hair. Yeah, that's him. And then John Alexander, will you go to the chair, please? Yeah, right here. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Dustin Wayne Herring.
What's your date of birth?
9/18/80, September 18.
What was the second thing you said?
September 18, 1980.
Okay, thanks. You're here on 2 warrants. One is from the Apache Junction City Court. One is from the East Mesa Justice Court. In Apache Junction, they put out a warrant for you failing to pay fines and fees. This was issued May 13th, 2025. Again, that's out of the Apache Junction City Court. Your court date there is going to be June 3rd, which is this Tuesday at 8:30 in the morning in the AJ City Court. The address is on your paperwork. In East Mesa, it is a driving unsuspended license ticket. It's a Class 1 misdemeanor. You did not appear after you got that ticket on March 10th, 2025. Looks like your court date was April 16th. You were not there. They put out a warrant for you April 28th. So your next court date is going to be in the East Mesa Justice Court in about 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, June 18th at 9 in the morning. This is a first failure to appear in that case. The one in AJ is not a failure to appear. It's a failure to pay. I'm going to release you in both, Mr. Herring. If I was a betting person, I would bet you're not going. But right now, on the simple facts of the 2 cases, I'm willing to let you prove me wrong. But if you don't go, that is failures to appear in both cases. You will not be able to pretend like you didn't know because everything will be in our system. We will 100% give you a bond in that case. Again, I don't predict that you're going to go based on the circumstances of your arrest, the fact that you are in the sleeping situation that so many people in this building are in. I know what I'm looking at. But so, Mr. Harry, I just want you to know you're going to get held next time if you don't go.
Okay. Yeah, I have residence down and things like that, so.
Show up. If you show up, you will likely never do another night in jail on either one of these cases if you show up. If you don't show up, we'll see it. We will hold you. Good luck, sir. Mr. Alexander? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
John L. Alexander, 7756.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Alexander, as you know, you are here on a warrant from California, and that works differently than an in-state warrant. You have extradition rights here in Arizona. You can exercise those rights and have an extradition hearing here. You can also choose to waive those rights and agree to go back to California. We just give people an opportunity at this first hearing to waive extradition if they want to do it. You don't have to, it's just an opportunity. It's not even your only opportunity.
I would like to waive because I'd like to go back to California.
Okay, then, have you been through this before? Have you been through extradition before? Do you understand it? Okay, then let me give you a quick nutshell to make sure you understand your rights, okay? You have three basic rights in this case. The first one is you have the right to have an extradition hearing here in Arizona within 90 days after today. As part of the whole extradition process, you have the right to insist that a governor's warrant be signed by the actual governors of both states and presented in Arizona before they can take you back to California without your consent. Lastly, you have the right to hire a lawyer to represent you in the extradition proceedings. We don't appoint lawyers, though, because extradition is a civil court case. It's not actually a criminal case. Now, because this is a parole warrant, you don't have the right to bail under Arizona law. I have to hold you whether you want to have your extradition hearing or whether you want to waive it. I have to hold you no bond either way because it's parole. So if you don't waive today, I'm going to give you the first of maybe 3 court dates in extradition court because they're on a 90-day clock to give you that hearing, and I'm going to hold you without bail. If you want to bypass that whole thing, which it sounds like you may want to, you could give up your rights that I just went over, the right to the extradition hearing, the right to the governor's warrants. Well, you always have the right to hire a lawyer, but there wouldn't be any more court case for the lawyer to appear in. So in any event, you could waive those rights and agree to go back. If you do that, California gets notified. They'll have 30 calendar days starting tomorrow to come and get you, provided you don't have any Arizona criminal charges or holds. I don't see any, but I can't tell what may be out there or waiting to hit our system. So what I just want to caution you is that, say you waive today, you're on your 30-day clock, and 2 weeks from now, a warrant hits the system for a driving on suspended license misdemeanor from another county in Arizona. The clock will stop. You have to deal with the other Arizona matter, and then California's clock will start over on day 1. California will always get a clean 30-day window to come and get you. So I have to warn people that could happen to you if you waive. All right, so, and the waiver clock starts the day after you waive, so if you did waive today, the waiver clock for you would start May 30th. If they don't come and get you, you do get released. But the warrant stays active in the national system unless you do something about it in California. You'd have to deal with California, go out there, get it quashed. We can't quash a California warrant. So if they don't come and get you, you do get released. But you could literally be arrested on the same warrant the next day. So I just always try to warn people about that. All right, do you have any questions for me before I ask if you want to give up those rights and waive?
Well, I want to go back.
Okay. Does that mean you want to give up your right to an extradition hearing?
Right.
Okay. Then I have to ask you some formal questions because when you give up rights, it's always a bit more formal, and I use a script to make sure I don't mess them up. All right. So did you read the waiver of extradition paperwork we gave you? That's the card. Did you read that?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you understand that you do not have to sign this waiver of extradition? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. Do you understand that you have the right to have an extradition hearing here in Arizona?
Now, once I go back on 30 days, all they're going to do is keep me for 10 days flat.
Okay, so...
That's all California gives you on a run anyway, 10 days flat.
And that makes sense. I just have to make a record that shows that you know you have that right, and then at the end I'm going to ask if you want to give up that right. So I just want to know, do you know that you do have the right to have an extradition hearing if you want one? Do you know that?
I want one.
But you do understand it?
Right.
Okay. Do you understand that you have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense for the extradition hearing?
Right.
And do you understand, well, I guess I need a yes or no because it's formal.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand that you have the right to insist that that governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states? Do you understand that's your right?
Yes.
Okay. And do you want to give up all those rights in order to sign the paperwork?
Yes.
Has anybody threatened you or promised you anything to get you to sign the paperwork?
No.
And have you had any drugs, alcohol, or medication in the last 24 hours?
No.
All right. Then I find that you knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily are waiving your right to an extradition hearing and signing the waiver paperwork. My orders are going to direct our sheriff's office to notify California that you're ready to return to California. California will have 30 calendar days starting tomorrow to come and get you. And I have to say this, If you have any Arizona charges or holds, California's 30 days will begin at the conclusion of your Arizona criminal cases.
Right.
Okay. Any questions before we finish?
No.
Okay, then you can leave the card right there, and you got to step over here and sign a couple of times electronically. My clerk will tell you when, and she will give you a copy of what you're signing. It is the waiver that you'll be signing. Good luck, sir. All right, so, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 4 house calls, officer.
Yes, go ahead.
So with respect to Kelsey Polinchek, Evan Ransford, Robert Brecky, and Jasmine Moreno, is each of them not physically present in court because they've been isolated by the sheriff's office as a potential danger to themselves or others? Yes. All right, thank you. I did get an affirmative response from sheriff's office, so I will go see each of those 4 defendants in-house to conduct the initial appearances in person immediately following this recording. I'm going to advise Kelsey Janice Marie Polinchek, born 6/27/91. She's here on a new case. She got booked in for armed robbery, which this court finds probable cause on as the completed offense, which is a Class 2 felony, 2 allegations of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, which this court finds probable cause on as Class 3 felonies, 1 allegation of dangerous drug possession, Class 4 felony, 1 allegation of drug paraphernalia possession, Class 6 felony. I do find probable cause for all of those. I'm going to appoint a lawyer for Ms. Polinchek. I'm going to tell her that her status conference is going to be June 4th at 8:30, with a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. And the court's inclination is to set bail in her case in the amount of $25,000 secured with written conditions I'll go over with her that include no going to the scene of the alleged crimes and no contact with alleged victims, no weapons, no drugs on a valid prescription. Evan Ransford, born 11/30/86, is here on a new case. He got arrested for aggravated assault on a first responder, which is now a Class 4 felony under Arizona law, and I do find probable cause on that as a Class 4 felony. I'm going to appoint a lawyer for Mr. Ransford, give him a court date of June 4, 8:30 in the morning, and a preliminary hearing of June 6 at 8:30, both in the downtown Superior Court. I'm inclined to set bail Mr. Ransford's case in the amount of $5,000 secured with written conditions I will go over with him that include no victim contact and no going to the scene of the alleged crime. Mr. Brecky, Robert Brecky, born 12/4/59, is here on a bench warrant for failing to appear at a status conference in front of the trial court in a case in which he's been charged with a lawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, Class 5 felony. This one issued May 20th of 2025. His next court date is going to be a status conference June 4th at 8:30 in the morning with a preliminary hearing June 6th at 8:30. Those will be in the downtown Superior Court. I'm affirming the bond set by the trial court, which was $10,000 cash only, with written conditions I will go over with Mr. Brecky. They include no weapons, no drugs without a prescription, no driving without driver's license. Jasmine Guadalupe Moreno, born 10/23/03, is here on 2 cases. They are both probation violation warrants. She's on probation for 2 felonies in 2 cases, and there were petitions to revoke her probation filed in both cases on March 19th of this year. The petitions allege that she violated terms 3 and 5. I'll let her know she'll get a copy of those from her lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for her, giving her a court date for both cases of June 5th at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown probation court for a revocation, arraignment, and possible disposition hearing. And I'm planning to affirm the bonds set, which is $500 per case for $1,000 total with written conditions I will go over with her. If anything changes after I conduct these initial appearances in-house, I'm going to amend my formal written order that will reflect the court's ultimate decision in the cases after the initial appearances are conducted. It is not this court's intention to supplement this recording. And with that, the court is going to stand in recess until 2 p.m. this afternoon.
All right.
Can you tell them the last one? If you know. I'm sorry, everyone. Thank you. Please be seated. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Commissioner Hughes. This is the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar for Thursday, May 29th. Do I have a court interpreter on the line?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Parra.
May I render your previous utterances, Your Honor, to begin?
Please do.
Buenas tardes, soy la comisionada Hughes y estamos aquí para atender la lista de comparecencias del día de hoy, jueves, mayo 29 del año 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of May will apply to the hearings on this calendar.
Las órdenes referentes a la toma de huellas dactilares y muestras de ADN emitidas el primer día de mayo también aplican a las causas de hoy.
As we get started here this afternoon, I will call each of you into the courtroom one at a time.
Cuando empecemos aquí esta tarde, les llamaré a uno por uno para que pasen a la sala.
I'll ask one of you to stand behind this gray podium here in front of me in the courtroom. I'll ask the next two people that I intend to call into the courtroom to line up in the two chairs right inside this door.
Le voy a pedir a la primera persona que llame que pase atrás del podio gris y que las dos siguientes personas se sienten en la silla que está afuera de la sala.
If you would, please listen carefully for your name and follow the chairs into the courtroom. I know that seems kind of dumb, but I promise you all it will make this calendar move much faster, and then everybody can get to where they need to be after this a little bit sooner.
Si es que escucha detenidamente las instrucciones que le he dado sobre las sillas, les prometo de que esto, aunque parezca tonto, va a ayudarnos a agilizar las cosas y para que todos continúen a lo siguiente.
Once you work your way into the courtroom and you're behind the gray podium, the first thing I will do is ask you to tell me your full name and date of birth. Then I will explain to you why you're here.
La primera cosa que ocurrirá una vez de que llegue usted hasta el podio gris es de que le voy a pedir que me diga su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento y le informaré sobre las acusaciones en su contra.
After I tell you why you're here, I will tell you whether you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. Those lawyers are sometimes called public defenders.
Después de haberle comunicado la razón por la que está aquí, le voy a dejar saber si es que usted califica para que se le asigne un abogado defensor de oficio.
You all have the right to the assistance of counsel, and whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, you always have the right to hire a private lawyer to represent you if you wish to.
Para todos tiene el derecho a tener representación legal en las diligencias, sin importar si usted tiene los medios para pagar uno o no. Si usted tiene los medios o no califica para un abogado nombrado por el tribunal, entonces tiene usted también el derecho de contratar a su propio abogado.
After we talk about lawyers, I'll give you the next court hearing dates and times you will be required to attend, and then we will talk about whether you are legally eligible for release from custody and on what conditions if you are.
Después de haber hablado sobre las cuestiones de los abogados, vamos a informarle de las siguientes audiencias y también si es que se le pondrá en libertad o no, incluyendo las medidas cautelares que se incluirán en su caso.
In addition to that right to the assistance of counsel, it is important for you all to know that you also have the right to remain silent.
Además de lo que le dije que tiene el derecho a tener representación legal, también tiene usted el derecho de permanecer silencio.
These are recorded criminal proceedings. Anything that you do say in the courtroom this afternoon will be preserved on the recording and it can be used against you.
Todo lo que ocurre aquí se va a grabar y todo lo que usted diga se preservará y también se podrá usar en su contra en una diligencia futura.
There will not be a lawyer in the courtroom this afternoon for purposes of your defense. Because you won't have a lawyer in here and because anything you say could be used against you, I will strongly caution all of you not to make any statements about the facts that brought you here.
Ya que no tenemos un abogado aquí en la sala, en cuanto a un abogado defensor para ustedes, realmente les encargo encarecidamente de que no vayan a decir nada sobre los hechos en este caso, ya que pudiera resultar en que se use en su contra.
Last thing before we get started, all of the information that you get while you're in the courtroom will be in a written document that you'll get a copy of when you step back into that room. So please keep that with you so that once you leave this area, you still have access to all the information that you got while you were in the courtroom.
Y la última cosa que les quiero informar es de que todo lo que yo les diga, la información que les dé aquí, la recibirán también en escrito una vez de que regresen ustedes a la sala de espera. Y recuerde mantenerla con usted a todo momento en caso de que necesite usted refrescar su memoria, puede referirse a ella.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Can I please have Tomas Hernandez all the way into the courtroom? Humberto Vargas, if you would please take a seat inside this door.
Ok, vamos a empezar con las causas. Tomás Hernández, si puede dirigirse hasta el podio gris. Y Humberto Vargas, si puede usted dirigirse y sentarse en la silla que está adentro.
Tomas Hernandez, looks like a white button-up shirt, longer dark hair. Okay. Can I please have your name and date of birth?
¿Puede por favor decirme su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento?
Tomás Lizario Hernández, 26 febrero, 27. 72.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. It was a bunch of numbers. Do you want to ask him to
Yes.
repeat that? Sure.
Yes, can you please repeat your date of birth?
¿Puede por favor repetirme su fecha de nacimiento?
Tomás Lizario Hernández, 26 y 72.
Tomás Lizardo Hernández, it's 2672.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Hernandez. You are here on allegations of new charges.
Muchas gracias, señor Hernández. ¿Se encuentra usted aquí bajo afirmaciones que cometió nuevos ilícitos?
Those allegations are one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony.
Esas afirmaciones en su contra son las siguientes: un punto acusatorio de posesión de drogas narcóticas y un punto acusatorio de drogas narcóticas, un delito categoría 4, y un segundo punto acusatorio de posesión de parafernalia de droga, un delito categoría 6.
I have found probable cause to support both of those allegations, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
He determinado que existe un motivo fundado para vincularlo a esas acusaciones y he nombrado un abogado defensor de la Defensoría de Oficio.
Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 12th and then a preliminary hearing June 16th, both at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown.
Se han fijado las siguientes audiencias en su caso. La primera es una consulta de actualización para junio 12 y una audiencia preliminar el día 16 de junio, las dos a las 8:30 de la mañana en el Tribunal Superior en el centro de la ciudad de Phoenix.
On these allegations, I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services, so you will be released from custody. You will then be responsible for going to your next court hearings and contacting pretrial.
Lo que ha ocurrido aquí es de que he ratificado esta cuestión de que lo voy a poner en libertad bajo palabra juratoria. Saldrá usted en libertad el día de hoy, pero está bajo el control del Servicio de Control de Procesados. Una vez de que se le ponga en libertad, usted tiene la responsabilidad de comparecer a sus audiencias y de comunicarse con el Departamento de Control de Procesados.
With your release paperwork, you will get a packet from pretrial services that will have all of their contact information in it, so please keep that so that once you're out of custody, you can reach out to them.
Con estas medidas cautelares, una vez de que se le ponga en libertad, se le dará un paquete a usted que es el paquete del Departamento de Control de Procesados. Ese contiene un número de teléfono, reténgalo con usted para que cuando se le ponga en libertad, usted pueda llamarles a ese número.
Last thing, once you are out of custody, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription.
Y por último, una vez que usted esté libre, no podrá tener posesión de ningún tipo de drogas a menos de que tenga usted una receta válida.
Do you understand those conditions?
¿Entiende las condiciones?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hernandez. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Gracias, señor Hernández. Pase atrás, reciba sus documentos.
Okay, next can I please have Humberto Vargas into the courtroom behind the podium?
Ahora puede pasar Humberto Vargas en la sala detrás del podio.
Can I please have your name and date of birth?
¿Puede, por favor, decirme su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento?
Humberto Ramírez Vargas, December 1973.
Humberto Ramírez Vargas, December 1973.
Mr. Vargas, do you require the assistance of an interpreter?
Yes.
Señor Vargas, ¿requiere la asistencia de un intérprete?
Sí.
Yes, yes.
Okay, then I will ask that you please allow the interpreter an opportunity to interpret my English into Spanish, even if you understand me in English. Then please communicate back, if you would please, in your native language, allowing the interpreter an opportunity to then interpret that from Spanish to English.
Siendo así el caso, le pido entonces de que le dé la oportunidad al intérprete que interprete lo que yo le diga y después, cuando vaya a contestar, que conteste en español. De esa manera nos aseguramos de que todos estamos comunicados.
Okay.
It just doesn't work very well to have a half English, half Spanish hearing.
Solo que no funciona muy bien tener una audiencia que está mitad en inglés, mitad en español.
Okay, you are here on allegations of new charges.
¿Está aquí usted bajo afirmaciones de haber cometido nuevos ilícitos?
Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony.
Estas afirmaciones en su contra son las siguientes: un punto acusatorio de estar en posesión de drogas narcóticas, un delito categoría 4, y estar en posesión de parafernalia de droga, un delito categoría 6.
I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
He determinado que existe un motivo fundado para vincularlo a las acusaciones y he nombrado un abogado defensor de la Defensoría de Oficio.
Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 12th and then a preliminary hearing June 16th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown.
Se han fijado las siguientes audiencias en su caso. La primera es una consulta de actualización programada para el 12 de junio y una audiencia preliminar para el 16 de junio, las dos a las 8:30 de la mañana en el Tribunal Superior en el centro de la ciudad de Phoenix.
I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, which means you would be released from custody. It would then be your responsibility to get yourself to both of those next court hearings.
Me inclino a ponerlo en libertad bajo palabra juratoria, y eso quiere decir de que una vez de que se le ponga en libertad, usted es responsable de comparecer a las siguientes audiencias.
Once you are released from custody, you will also be prohibited from possessing any drugs without a valid prescription.
Una vez de que usted está en libertad, también se le prohíbe estar en posesión de ningún tipo de droga, a menos de que tenga usted una receta válida.
Do you understand those conditions and agree to attend your next court hearings on your own accord?
¿Entiende usted estas condiciones y acuerda usted mismo comparecer a estas audiencias voluntariamente?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Vargas. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Gracias, señor Vargas. Pase atrás por sus documentos.
Mr. Parra, would you please make an inquiry of the gallery to make sure we don't miss anybody before you disconnect?
Of course, Your Honor. Buenas tardes, soy el intérprete judicial. Si necesita asistencia en español en esta audiencia, levante su mano.
Could you ask them to state their name? I don't think there's anybody in there that can see hands.
Pueden decir su nombre porque no podemos ver sus manos.
Okay, I don't hear anything. Do any of you see anybody's hands up? No. Okay, I'm told no hands are raised. I don't hear any names. Thank you very much, Mr. Interpreter. You are free to disconnect.
Thank you.
Okay, can I please have Robert Duncan all the way into the courtroom behind the podium? Bradley Green, could I ask you to please take a seat in the first chair right inside the door? Kelly Keeler, if you would please take a seat in the second chair. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Can I have your name and date of birth?
My name is Robert Allen Duncan, and my birthday is 8/1/1978.
Thank you very much, Mr. Duncan. You are here on 3 different matters. The first 2 are bench warrants, both issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at status conferences in 2 different existing felony drug cases. In both of those cases, you already have a lawyer assigned to represent you. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing in each of those existing cases will be a status conference June 5th. It will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. Okay. On each of those 2 warrants, you have a $2,000 secured appearance bond. So $4,000 total on the 2 existing cases. The third matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause to support those new drug allegations, and I appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you in that matter. Your next court hearing on those allegations will be a status conference June 4th, and then a preliminary hearing June 6th. Those 2 will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. Because these new allegations are felony offenses that were alleged to have been committed while you were on pretrial release in those 2 existing felony drug cases, on the new allegations, you are not eligible for release on bond. You will be held in custody without bail, at least until an evidentiary hearing takes place. That hearing is scheduled for June 5th at 1:30 in the afternoon. So same date as your hearings on the existing cases, but in the afternoon. You will not be eligible for release on bond in that new case, at least until after that hearing at 1:30 on the 5th. Because of that, you should wait until after that hearing before attempting to post the bond on the existing warrants. Do you understand that information?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Duncan. You can step back and get your paperwork. Officer Carter, can I ask you to shift for this one, please? You should probably share the podium with you if you want to take your paperwork. No? Okay. Bradley Green, if you would work your way into the courtroom, please. Mr. Keeler, if you'd shift over to the first chair, and then if I could ask Logan Timon to work your way to the second chair, please. All right. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Bradley Michael Green, January 5th, 1988.
Thank you very much, Mr. Green. And appearance of counsel for the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Brooke Gaunt on behalf of the state.
Good afternoon, Ms. Gaunt. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay, Mr. Green, you are here on an allegation of a new charge. The allegation against you is 1 count of murder in the first degree. It is a Class 1 felony. I am inclined, based on my reading of the information provided to me by law enforcement, to find probable cause to support this allegation. Before I do that, Ms. Gaunt, is there anything the state wishes the court to consider in regards to probable cause in addition to what's in the Form 4?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you very much. Then I have found probable cause to support that allegation. I have determined that you're entitled to a lawyer, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 4th, and then you will have a preliminary hearing June 6th. Both of those hearings will be at 8:30 in the morning. They'll both be in the Superior Court downtown. Before I consider or impose any release conditions in this case, can I please hear argument and recommendation from the state regarding release conditions?
Thank you, Your Honor. The state's asking for $1 million cash-only bond in this matter. Mr. Green has an extensive criminal history with 7 prior felony convictions, including convictions of violence as well as domestic violence offenses. He allegedly drove to the victim's home and shot him. We believe he is a significant danger to the community. We also have concern for possible witness intimidation. It's believed that the motive was that the victim was attempting to assist Mr. Green's girlfriend in fleeing from his violence. We also believe that Mr. Green may actually be on parole out of the state of California.
Ms. Gaunt, what is the basis for your belief that he's on parole in California?
I know that he has most recently convictions from, I believe, 2023, and I believe he was sentenced to imprisonment on those, as well as I think he may have made statements to law enforcement. that he believes he was on parole.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Green, I am going to give you an opportunity to address the court in regards to any factors you would like the court to consider in determining what release conditions to impose in this case. I will remind you again, you don't have a lawyer in here and anything you say could be used against you. So I will give you an opportunity to react to what the state said, but I will caution you very strongly to try to limit that to factors relevant to release conditions. And I encourage you very, very strongly not to move into the alleged facts against you because I don't want you to make any material admissions without the presence of a lawyer. Go ahead. Any factors you want the court to consider in regards to release?
I was just going to confirm the fact that I'm on parole out of California.
Okay.
Out of San Bernardino County.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Green. Is there anything else you want the court to consider in regards to determining release conditions?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Green. I have, like I said, reviewed the Form 4. The Form 4 is the document law enforcement provides me with the alleged facts regarding this incident. I have reviewed your criminal history. I do agree with the state that you have a substantial criminal history involving both domestic violence offenses and violent felony offenses. I also note in your criminal history several misdemeanor and felony allegations involving violations of orders of protection. Because of those things, I do have substantial concern about both the safety of the public and concerns for witness intimidation in this case, given who the alleged witnesses are. I also have substantial concerns that you could potentially pose a flight risk in this case, given the possible consequences. It's my understanding that a first-degree murder charge while somebody is on probation or parole could potentially the state could potentially seek the death penalty on that. I'm not suggesting to you in any way that that decision has been made or that the state has made any indication that they intend to do that. I'm simply saying that because that could potentially be a consequence under the facts as alleged as of right now, I do think that the nature of those consequences would cause somebody to be a flight risk from prosecution. So because of all of those reasons, I do think that a $1 million cash bond is both necessary and appropriate in this case. So I will order a $1 million cash only bond. If that bond is posted and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where these alleged events took place or have any contact with alleged witnesses. You can't possess any weapons, drugs without a valid prescription, or consume any alcohol if you're released. And if you are released from custody, you will have 24 hours to make contact with your parole officer if you have one in California. Anything else I need to address, Ms. Gaunt?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Green, do you understand all of those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. You can step back to your left and get your paperwork. Ms. Gaunt, you're free to be excused.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you get out?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay, Kelly Keeler, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Zachary Rodriguez, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Kelly Keeler, December 18th, 1961.
Did you say 18 or 19?
18.
18. Thank you, Mr. Keeler. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a grand jury warrant. In that case, a state grand jury was convened and found probable cause to return an indictment against you. That indictment contains one count of theft of a means of transportation, a Class 3 felony alleged to have been committed September 30th of 2024. The second matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges based on a new arrest. Those allegations are 2 counts of aggravated assault, both Class 3 felonies, 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of causing criminal damage, a Class 2 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations. In both of these cases, I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing in the grand jury warrant will be an arraignment hearing July 5th. June 5th. June 5th at 8:30. It'll be in the Superior Court downtown. Your next court hearings on the new arrest charges, the ag assault and the weapon misconduct involving weapons and criminal damage case, will be a status conference June 4th and then a preliminary hearing June 6th, also at 8:30. So you'll have hearings 3 dates in a row, the 4th, the 5th, and the 6th, all at 8:30, all downtown. On the grand jury warrant, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. On the other allegations, you have a $50,000 secured appearance bond. So your total bond for both cases will be $52,500. It is all secured appearance. That means you can use a bonding company to post that. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, prior to your physical release, you will be affixed with an ankle monitor for electronic monitoring. If you post that bond and you're released on that ankle monitor, you cannot go back to where any of the alleged new allegations took place. You cannot have contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses of those offenses, and you are prohibited from possessing any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription if you are released. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, Sean, can I address the court about the second bond? I mean,
sure.
I mean, $50,000 seems like quite a bit. I am a homeowner. I've been there for almost 15 years. I don't understand why it's so high. We have an allegation. I understand of the aggravated assault, but it seems like quite a bit. I mean, I could post a bond. We didn't know about the September. I've been going to court. I've gone there. I have no failures to appear whatsoever. I was just learning about the grand jury indictment. As you can see, it's only 5 days old. Nobody told me. I didn't get a notice in the mail. I don't even know how they told me about it.
Well, they did it. So grand jury proceedings in Arizona are confidential proceedings.
Okay.
So the way you find out about a grand jury warrant is an interaction like this where a judge tells you a grand jury indictment has been handed down.
Yeah, so I had no idea that I had to be declared or I even was coming up, or I would have been there.
It wasn't a failure to appear.
Okay.
So that warrant was not issued because you didn't go to court.
Okay.
That warrant was just issued because new charges came from a grand jury proceeding. So on the second case, the reason that bond is so high is there are several reasons. One is based on a review of your criminal history. I know you have at least 15 prior felony convictions, some of which involve violent motor vehicle offenses, which is the same underlying allegation in this case. So the basis for at least one of the aggravated assault allegations is that you allegedly attempted to run somebody down with a vehicle. And so I have concerns about the safety of that person, not only because of the nature of the allegations, but also the repeated nature of them. So the allegations for that case involve at least 3 attempts to cause substantial harm to that alleged victim. So I do find that $50,000 bond is necessary and appropriate to ensure the safety of the alleged victim in that second case. Any other questions, Mr. Keeler?
No, are you aware who this alleged victim is?
I'm sorry?
You're aware of who the alleged victim is?
I know what law enforcement tells me about the facts of the case.
Yeah.
And for purposes of whether somebody is in danger or their safety is at risk, it doesn't matter to me who the individual is. Right. What matters to me is that they are an individual that is entitled to safety in the community.
No, I understand that, Your Honor, but in the same respect, this man's been alive for this whole time, and he is what he is. I've been married to this woman for 5 years, and he's been trying to be her little boyfriend.
So talk to your lawyer about that. I don't mean to disrespect you and cut you off, but I don't want you to say anything that the state could look back at later and say, see, he made an admission at his IA hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keeler. You can step back and get your paperwork. Logan Timon, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Jessica Medina, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. All right, can I ask you to please remove your hat and tell me your name and date of birth?
Logan James Timon, 8/11/91.
Say your date of birth one more time, please.
8/11/91.
Thank you, Mr. Tiemann. You are here on 4 different matters. The first one is a Maricopa County probation violation warrant. In that case, the petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 1 and 3 of your probation. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you in that case. Your next court hearing will be a probation revocation arraignment hearing June 5th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown here in Maricopa County. On that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is an initial arrest warrant issued by the Pinal County Superior Court. The allegation in that case is 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle. That's a Class 5 felony alleged to have been committed February 5th of 2025. In that case, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to defend you, but the lawyer is going to be appointed for you by the next judge you see in Pinal County at your next hearing. That hearing is going to be an arraignment hearing June 3rd. It will be at 8:30 in the Pinal County Superior Court. On that warrant, you have a $25,000 cash-only bond. The other two matters you're here on are both warrants issued out of the Pioneer Justice Court. The first one is a failure to appear warrant on a misdemeanor driving under the influence case. I'm not making any orders regarding your entitlement to counsel in that case. You might already have a court-appointed lawyer. If you do, that lawyer will continue to represent you. If you don't, but you think you're entitled to one, please bring that up in the Pioneer Court at your next hearing. The second matter out of the Pioneer Justice Court is an initial arrest warrant. That warrant alleges one count of criminal damage and one count of disorderly conduct, both Class 1 misdemeanors, both alleged to have been committed February 14th of 2025. On that one, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. Again, that lawyer is going to be appointed for you by the next judge at your next court hearing. Your next hearing on both of those Pioneer cases will be an arraignment hearing June 3rd at 8:30 in the Pioneer Justice Court. On the failure to appear warrant, you have a $750 cash bond. On the initial arrest warrant, it's a $256 cash-only bond. I don't know why it's such an odd amount, but that means your total bond for all of these cases will be $26,006 cash and then a $500 secured appearance bond. So $26,606 of that is cash only. If you post that and you are released, you will be responsible for getting to all of your next court hearings. If you're released from custody, you also cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses of any of the new allegations, and you can't possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Timon. You can step back and get your paperwork. Zachary Rodriguez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Garrett Alford, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Zachary Rodriguez, 051502.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of burglary. It is a Class 4 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 4th and then a preliminary hearing June 6th. Both of those hearings will take place at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. On this allegation, you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the alleged burglary took place. You cannot have contact with the alleged victim or any alleged witnesses, and you are prohibited from possessing any weapons if you're released from custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, can I ask you one question?
Sure.
How come you don't let me go on my own OR?
Partially because the allegations in this case are that the burglary resulted in a missing weapon, and you have a prior misconduct involving weapons charge, and so I have substantial concerns for the safety of the public based on that combination of allegations. Any other questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. You can step back and get your paperwork. Jessica Medina, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Isaiah Villalobos, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Jessica Medina, 6/13/1984.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. You are here on two bench warrants, both issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at sentencing hearings in two different existing felony drug cases. In both of those cases, you have a lawyer already assigned to represent you. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing in each case will be a post-warrant status conference. It will be June 4th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On each of these two warrants, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond will be $5,000. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, in addition to getting yourself to your next court hearing, you are also ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Medina. You can step back and get your paperwork. Garrett Alford, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Robert Bailey, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Garrett Hazel Alford, 11690.
Thank you, Mr. Alford. You are here on a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the Parker Justice Court. The underlying allegation in that case appears to be a misdemeanor shoplifting allegation. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions on that misdemeanor warrant. That lawyer will be appointed for you by the judge you see at your next hearing in the Parker Justice Court. That hearing will be an arraignment hearing June 3rd at 8:30. It will take place in the Parker Justice Court. And on that warrant, you have a $1,716 secured appearance bond. I don't know why these underlying courts issue such odd amounts, but it's $1,716.
I know why it is.
Okay. Don't tell me because I don't want you to
Yeah.
make an admission, but that's the bond amount on that warrant. If you post it and you're released, please know that you'll be responsible for getting yourself to your hearing in Parker on June 3rd. And if you are released, you cannot return to the scene of where that alleged shoplifting offense took place if you know where that is, and you can't possess any drugs without a valid prescription.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Isaiah Villalobos, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Demetrius Del Rio, if you'd please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Hi, good afternoon, ma'am. My name is Isaiah Alberto Villalobos. My date of birth is 12/27/2001.
Thank you very much, Mr. Villalobos. You are here on a warrant that was issued by the Superior Court in a felony case involving unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle. It looks like a warrant was issued back in April when you allegedly failed to appear at a status conference. My understanding is that you were then arrested on that warrant and posted bond in Pinal County to be released, but then failed to contact the Maricopa court within the time period allowed, which is why this warrant was issued. You have a lawyer already representing you in this case. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a new status conference June 4th, and then you'll have a preliminary hearing June 6th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On this warrant, you have a $1,500 secured appearance bond. If you post this and you are released, you are ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. And if you post this and you are released, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of your court hearings. Do you understand that information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Villalobos. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Robert Bailey, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Rafael Vargas, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Robert Bailey, August 15th, 89.
Thank you, Mr. Bailey. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of aggravated driving under the influence, that's a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause to support those 2 allegations, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 4th and then a preliminary hearing June 6th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, you have a $1,500 secured appearance bond. The other 2 matters you're here on are both allegations that those new charges violate Term 1 of your probation. In each of those probation cases, I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing in each of the 2 probation cases will be a revocation arraignment hearing. That one will be June 5th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of the 2 probation warrants, you have a $1,000 secured appearance bond. So $2,000 total for the probation cases, $3,500 total for all 3 cases. It is all secured appearance, so you can use a bonding company. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot go back to the scene where you were arrested on the new allegations or have contact with the complainant or any witnesses. You also cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription if you are released. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah, what's the total bond amount?
$3,500.
Altogether?
That's the total for all 3 cases, but it's secured appearance, so you could try to use a bonding company.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Bailey. You can step back and get your paperwork. Demetrius Del Rio, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Sherry Reeder, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Good afternoon. It's Demetrius Del Rio. My birthday is 3/24/88.
Thank you, Mr. Del Rio. You are here on 2 warrants, both issued for failing to comply with court terms. The first one was issued by the Apache Junction Municipal Court in a misdemeanor case involving shoplifting. The second was issued by the South Mountain Justice Court in a misdemeanor case involving interference with judicial proceedings. On both of these warrants, you're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions. I have appointed one for you in the South Mountain case. In the Apache Junction case, that lawyer will be appointed at your next court hearing. Your next hearing on the Apache Junction case will be an arraignment June 3rd at 8:30. Your next hearing on the South Mountain warrant will be an arraignment hearing June 3rd at 8:30. On the Apache Junction warrant, you have a $750 secured appearance bond. On the South Mountain warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond for both warrants will be $1,250. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. And you also cannot return to the scene where the underlying alleged shoplifting took place if you know where it was of the Apache Junction warrant. Did you have a question, Mr. Del Rio?
Yeah, the reason why this happened was because...
I would encourage you not to tell me why what happened. Talk to the lawyer that you get assigned at your next hearing about that. Because if you tell me what happened and it's some material admission, those lawyers, the state's lawyers can use that against you in these cases.
Yeah, why it's a failure to appear, why didn't go to court?
It's not a failure to appear. It's a failure to comply with court terms. So that tells me it's either failure to pay a fine, failure to take some class. There's some requirement both of those courts imposed that they're alleging wasn't complied with.
Yeah, I was in jail.
Okay, talk to your lawyer. Talk to your lawyer about that. All right, thank you, Mr. Del Rio. Rafael Vargas, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Cordell Reed, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Rafael Pimentel Vargas, May 27, 2001.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vargas. You are here on 3 probation violation warrants. In all 3 cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. All 3 of them allege violations of terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I've appointed a lawyer for you in all 3 cases. Your next court hearing in each of these 3 matters will be a revocation arraignment hearing June 5th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these 3 warrants, you have a total secured appearance bond of $1,350. It's $750 on one of the warrants, $500 on the second, $100 on the third. So $1,350, it is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vargas. You can step back and get your paperwork. Sherry Reeder, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Cesar Andrade, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Sherry Lynn Reeder, 42976.
Thank you, Ms. Reeder. You are here on 2 different matters. The first matter is an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of criminal trespassing in a residential structure. It is a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearing on that allegation will be a status conference June 4th, and then you'll have a preliminary hearing June 6th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. The second matter that you're here on is an allegation that new trespassing charge violates term 1 of your probation. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you in that probation case. Your next hearing in that matter will be a revocation arraignment hearing June 5th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On each of these 2 matters, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond for both cases will be $1,000. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you are ordered not to return to the scene where that alleged trespassing offense took place. You cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Reeder. You can step back and get your paperwork. Cordell Reed, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Sergio Martinez, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Cordell Reed,
February 10th, 1956.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reed. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony, and 1 count of shoplifting, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support the shoplifting allegation. I have not found probable cause to support the 2 drug-related allegations. My finding of no probable cause on those drug allegations does not mean they're legally dismissed. It is possible that the county attorney's office will file charges on those allegations.
Right.
What it does mean is that I am not considering those allegations for purposes of determining release conditions, and I'm not imposing any release conditions on the drug allegations. So on that new case, I'm only imposing release conditions on the shoplifting allegation. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. I have appointed the public defender's office to represent you.
Thank you.
The public defender's office will represent you against any charges that are formally filed as a result of this arrest. So if the county attorney's office does file on those drug charges, this lawyer that I've appointed here will represent you against those allegations.
Okay.
Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 4th and then a preliminary hearing June 6th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that shoplifting allegation, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is a probation violation warrant. In that case, a petition to revoke your probation has been filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you in that probation case. Your next court hearing in that matter will be a revocation arraignment June 5th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the probation warrant, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $300. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot go back to the scene where the alleged shoplifting took place, and you cannot have contact with any alleged witnesses of that allegation, and you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription if you are released from custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Is there any way that I could get an OR on it? Because I don't have anybody out there to get my money.
So the problem is, the problem is that probation warrant. So that bond was set by the probation court and the judge that reviewed the petition to revoke. So on the probation warrant, the answer is no. And so because you have a bond on the probation warrant, if I don't put a bond on the other case, you'll miss your hearings if you don't post the probation bond.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
That's it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Reed. You can step back and get your paperwork. Cesar Andrade, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Demito De Hoyos, if you would work your way to the second chair, please. While you're walking up, will you pull your arms out, please, sir? But you can keep walking. Come up to the podium. All right. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Cesar Andrade, 41692.
Thank you very much, Mr. Andrade. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. They both allege that you have violated terms 6 and 7. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you in both cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment June 5th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of those 2 warrants, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. So your total bond is $200. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions? Thank you, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. Sergio Martinez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Erica Chavez, if you'd please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
12/16/94.
And what's your name?
Sergio Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I did appoint a lawyer to represent you in both cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment June 5th at 8:30. It'll be in the Superior Court downtown. On each of these 2 warrants, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. So your total bond is $200. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. You can just go ahead and head back to your left. She'll bring your paperwork out to you. Thanks, sir. Demito De Hoyos, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Lindsay Tucker, if you would please work your way to the second chair.
My name is Milton Hoyas, February 22nd, 58.
Thank you very much, Mr. De Hoyos. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of criminal trespassing in a residential structure. It is a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause to support that allegation, and I appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 12th and then a preliminary hearing June 16th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services, so you will be released from custody without having to post a bond. Once you are out of custody, you will be required to get yourself to both of those next court hearings. You'll also be required to contact pretrial services.
Okay.
Their contact information will be in a little packet that you get with your release paperwork, so please keep that. Last, once you're out of custody, you cannot return to the scene where the alleged trespassing took place, and you can't have contact with the complainant or any alleged co-defendant. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. De Hoyos. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Erica Chavez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. William Morgan, if you'd work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Erica Jude, Chavez, and 8/14/87.
Thank you, Ms. Chavez. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of criminal trespassing in a residential structure. It is a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 12th, and then you will have a preliminary hearing June 16th. Both of those hearings will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services, so you will be released from custody and you do not need to post a bond to secure your release. But once you are out of custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of your next court hearings, and you'll be required to contact pretrial services. So please keep the packet that you get with your release paperwork, because in there will be all of their contact information. Last, once you're out of custody, you cannot go back to the location where the alleged trespassing took place, and you can't have contact with the complainant or any co-defendants of that allegation. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Chavez. You can step back and get your...
I'm going home tonight.
You'll get released today, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Lindsay Tucker, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Tiara Libman, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Lindsay A. Tucker, 2/16/83.
Thank you, Ms. Tucker. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 12th, and then you will have a preliminary hearing June 16th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services. So similar conditions that I've told the last couple people, you'll get out of custody, you don't have to post a bond. Once you're out, you will be responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearings. You will also be required to contact pretrial services.
Okay.
Please keep the little packet you get with your release paperwork. In there will be their address and phone number, so once you're out, you can either call them or go into their office to check in with them.
Okay.
Last, once you are released, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription.
Okay.
Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, I do.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Tucker. You can step back and get your paperwork. William Morgan, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Nicole King-Jeff, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
William Thomas Morgan, 4/22/85.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. You are here on a warrant issued by the Goodyear Municipal Court. The underlying allegations in that case, it looks like, are 2 misdemeanor shoplifting allegations. Because those allegations are misdemeanors, the nature of those charges does not entitle you to a court-appointed lawyer. I'll let you ask questions when I get through this. Okay, so if you don't have a lawyer working with you in that case already, but you want one, you'll have to hire a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing in this case will be an arraignment hearing June 18th. It will take place at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the Goodyear Municipal Court. I am releasing you on your own recognizance on this warrant, so you are going to be released from custody, and you will be responsible for getting yourself to the Goodyear Court on June 18th at 1 o'clock. In your paperwork leaving here, you're going to get the address, phone number, date, and time of that hearing, so please keep that so you know where to go, when to be there, and you have their phone number if for some reason you
Yes,
need to
ma'am.
use it. Okay, once you are out of custody, you cannot return to the scene where those alleged shoplifting offenses took place if you know where they are.
Which would be
And you-
Target, correct?
I don't have the
Oh,
facts, so
okay.
if you know where that was, don't go back there.
I already did time for this case, and it was handled, and the warrant never went away. That's kind of why I'm
Well, this
confused.
warrant, it looks like it was issued 2 days ago.
Right.
So it looks like the warrant was issued May 27th of
But
2025.
I've already
So,
handled this case.
well, that court doesn't agree. So as of 2 days ago, that court thinks that
Okay.
there's something pending that you're not complying with.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
you're going to get out of custody today, go to court on the 18th and try and, if you think this case is handled, like I said, the court doesn't think so.
Okay.
So go to court and get that cleared up with the Goodyear judge.
Yes, ma'am.
They can explain to you whatever it is that they think wasn't done that should have been done. And if it is some mistake, you can clear it up with them at your next hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any other questions?
No.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morgan. You can step back and
have a
get.
great day.
Okay, thanks. Tiara Libman, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Alejandro Martinez, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Tiara Littman, 7/14/93.
Thank you very much, Ms. Libman. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 2 counts of disorderly conduct, both Class 1 misdemeanors, 1 count of causing criminal damage, a Class 2 misdemeanor, and 1 count of assault, a Class 3 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support those allegations. I have determined you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. That lawyer will be appointed for you by the next judge you see at your next court hearing. That hearing will be an arraignment hearing June 24th. It'll be at 1:30 in the afternoon. It will take place in the Surprise Municipal Court. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you will be released from custody without having to post a bond. That means first and foremost that you will be responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearing June 24th at 1:30 in Surprise. Once you are released from custody, you are ordered not to return to the scene where the underlying events allegedly took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims, the complainant, or any alleged witnesses. You cannot possess any weapons, drugs without a valid prescription, or consume any alcohol upon release. And once you are released from custody, you are ordered to strictly comply with the terms of any orders of protection, if any have been or are later served upon you. Do you understand all of those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Libman. You can step back and get your paper.
I do have to say something.
Okay.
For the attorney,
Yeah.
if you could explain that to me again, please.
You're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to defend you, but because this case is not within the Maricopa County Superior Court, the lawyer that's going to defend you will be appointed by the next judge out of the Surprise Court. So you will get a court-appointed lawyer. It's just that that lawyer won't be appointed until your next hearing.
Will I be able to explain everything to my lawyer then?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, anything else?
That's it. I'll explain it to my lawyer.
All right, very good. Thank you, Ms. Libman. You can step back and get your paperwork. Nicole King-Jeff, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Reginaldo Dominguez, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Nicole Marie King-Jeff, 11/1/87.
Thank you very much, Ms. King-Jeff. You are here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of criminal trespassing in a residential structure and 1 count of resisting arrest. They are both Class 6 felonies. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 12th, and then you will have a preliminary hearing June 16th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you on your own recognizance on these allegations, so you will be released from custody. You don't need to post a bond. Once you are out of custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of your next court hearings. Once you are out of custody, you are ordered not to return to the scene where the underlying events allegedly took place, and you cannot have contact with the complainant or any witnesses. You also cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription once you're out of custody.
Gotcha.
Do you understand those conditions? Yep. All right. Thank you, Ms. King-Jeff. You can step back. Alejandro Martinez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Alejandro Martinez, date of birth is 09/18/1999.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martinez. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is an allegation of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony. The second matter that you're here on is an allegation that narcotic drug possession allegation violated Term 1 of your probation. I have not found probable cause to support the narcotic drug allegation, which means I also have not found probable cause to support a Term 1 probation violation. What this means is that you will be released from custody without any restrictions imposed upon you, but it is possible that the county attorney's office will file formal charges on the narcotic drug allegation, which would reinstitute an alleged Term 1 violation. So I am going to appoint a lawyer to represent you in both cases in case a formal charge is filed. I'm also going to give you court hearing dates that you'll be required to attend. The first hearing date that you'll have to go to is a probation revocation arraignment hearing, June 5th at 8:30. The next two will be a status conference, June 12th, and then a preliminary hearing, June 16th. They're all going to be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. Please keep your paperwork so that you can remember those dates and get yourself to those court hearings. If no charges are filed, you'll find out when you go to your court hearing, and the court may say, this is done and over with, you don't have to come back for the next hearings. But if the county attorney's office does file charges and you don't go to your court hearings, that court will issue a warrant for your arrest. So you will get out of custody. You have no release restrictions except that you go to those 3 court hearings. So keep your paperwork so you know when and where to go to court. And then when you get to those hearings, you'll find out next steps if charges are filed. Do you understand all that information?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Martinez. You can step back and get your
Thank you, Your
paperwork.
Honor. Have a good evening.
Reginaldo Dominguez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Thanks. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Reginaldo Dominguez, December 4th, 1991.
Thank you very much. And is your first name spelled Reginaldo?
Oh, it's just an A in there.
Okay, I thought so. That's why I hesitated when I said your name. I was like, Reginald. Okay, so it's Reginaldo?
And as well as Guadalupe, there's missing a U.
G-U-A?
Yeah, and Dominguez is missing a U as well. So
Is
the whole
it
name
G-U-E-Z?
Yeah.
Apparently somebody just ignored all the vowels.
Right?
Okay, did you get all that? Okay, we're going to get your name corrected, but we have your date of birth right? 12/4/91.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We will get your name fixed so that it'll be right on your paperwork.
Thank you.
Okay, you are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of burglary, a Class 3 felony, 1 count of criminal trespassing, a Class 5 felony, 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause to support burglary and trespassing. I did not find probable cause to support the drug-related offenses. So, as to the drug allegations, I am not considering them or imposing any release conditions today on those 2 drug allegations. I am only considering and imposing release conditions on the burglary and trespassing allegations. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so I have appointed the public defender's office to represent you. The public defender assigned to your case will defend you against any charges that are formally filed as a result of this arrest. So if the county attorney's office does in fact file formal charges on the drug allegations, this lawyer will defend you against that, as well as the trespassing and burglary. Okay. Your next court hearings will be a status conference June 12th and then a preliminary hearing June 16th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations that I did find probable cause to support, I am releasing you on your own recognizance. So you will be released from custody. You will then be responsible for getting yourself to your hearings on the 12th and the 16th downtown. Once you get out of custody, you cannot go back to the scene where the alleged burglary and trespassing took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses of those 2 offenses, and you can't possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription once you get out of custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dominguez. I think we have your paperwork corrected and reprinted. If you want to just take a step back to your left, we'll bring it out to you.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Was I right on this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, number 31 on the calendar, James Allen Wilfong, date of birth 12/14/81, is not in the courtroom because he's being held in administrative segregation. He is here on a grand jury warrant. A state grand jury was convened and found probable cause to return an indictment against him. That indictment contains 1 count of aggravated assault, a Class 3 felony, 2 counts of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, 1 count of dangerous drug possession. Those last 3 are Class 4 felonies. I've appointed a lawyer to represent him in that case. His next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing June 5th at 8:30, and on that warrant, he has a $250,000 secured appearance bond. Number 29 on the calendar, Tony Romero, date of birth 12/4/71, is not in the courtroom because he is being held in administrative segregation. He is here on an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed. That direct complaint alleges 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of discharging a firearm in the city limits, 1 count of disorderly conduct involving weapons, both Class 6 felonies, and 1 count of assault, a Class 3 misdemeanor. I have appointed a lawyer to represent him in that case. His next court hearings will be a status conference June 4th and a preliminary hearing June 6th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, he has a $25,000 secured appearance bond. Number 52 on the calendar, Carmelo Efren Jimenez, date of birth 6/20/87, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to combative behavior. He is here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of threatening and intimidating, 1 count of disorderly conduct, those are both Class 1 misdemeanors, and 1 count of assault, a Class 3 misdemeanor. He is entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to defend him against these allegations. That lawyer will be appointed at his next court hearing, which will be an arraignment hearing June 3rd at 8:30 in the Santan Justice Court. On those allegations, he has a $5,000 secured appearance bond. Number 11 on the calendar, Jorge Cabrera, date of birth 10/31/2000, is not in the courtroom because he is being held in medical isolation. He is here on 3 different matters. The first 2 are bench warrants issued by the probation court when he failed to appear at a revocation arraignment hearing. The third is a bench warrant issued when he failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug case. In all 3 cases, he already has a lawyer assigned to him. That lawyer will continue to represent him. His next court hearing in the 2 probation cases will be a new revocation arraignment hearing June 5th at 8:30. In each of those 2 matters, he has a $250 secured appearance bond. His next court hearings in the existing felony case will be a new status conference June 4th and a preliminary hearing June 6th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, he has a $2,000 secured appearance bond, making his total bond $2,500 all secured appearance. Number 15 on the calendar, Sarah Evelyn Taggart, date of birth 1/26/69, is not in the courtroom because she's being held in medical isolation. She is here on an allegation of a new charge. The allegation is 1 count of criminal trespassing in a residential structure. It is a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend her. Her next court hearings will be a status conference June 12th and a preliminary hearing June 16th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown, and I am releasing her on her own recognizance. Last on the calendar, number 27, Harry Holmes, date of birth 4/7/84, is not in the courtroom because he poses a danger to himself. He is here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of obstruction by refusing his true name, a Class 2 misdemeanor, and 1 count of criminal trespassing, a Class 3 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause to support those allegations. Because the underlying allegations are misdemeanor offenses, he is not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. His next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing June 12th. It will be at 8:30 in the El Centro Justice Court, and I am releasing him on his own recognizance. If anything changes after I visit any of these individual cell sites, the court's final orders regarding release will be reflected in their written release decisions. That concludes the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar. This court will stand in recess until 5 p.m.